Hello everyone and welcome to the 2026 Lexus NX450h Plus. This is the plug-in hybrid and it's the most powerful Lexus NX you can currently buy. And for this 2026 model year, well, nothing much is typically new. There is a reduction in the trim, so I believe the 250 trim is gone, the engine level, but this plug-in hybrid one still exists, as does the 350h and 350, so you got some choices still. But if you want something that's the most powerful NX, this is your only option still right now. So we can put it in EV mode, hybrid mode, hold it down to charge up the battery as well, which is pretty cool. We have a very familiar Lexus infotainment system, which I've expressed my opinions on in our full tour and review. It generally is fine, but everything is in the screen, of course, and on top of that, the menu structure is a little bit funky in some cases, but you do get used to it. We have those interesting kind of capacitive but also physical buttons at the same time, so it's another thing you kind of have to get used to in modern Lexus products. Love the digital rear view mirror, but it is regular mirror if you do prefer that as well. We have some drive modes over here, sport, eco, normal as well, in addition to our hybrid modes there. We have park assist, 360 cameras as well in this one. Let's check out our turning radius here with our shifter, reverse, neutral, and drive. And this is a pretty powerful vehicle, around 302 horsepower. And with 3 electric motors, that's actually pretty good. It's a smaller vehicle than the Lexus RX, for example. With around 302 horsepower, those electric motors, you have that instant torque. It's pretty nice. So driving around town, off the bat, it's really quiet in here. You will notice that. So Lexus has done a great job at noise insulation. It's one of their hallmarks, I would say. You can actually make this camera come on automatically every time you come to a stop. Right now, I actually put it in charge mode, for example. So I'm going to turn off the AC pretty low. We'll pop it into EV mode. And it's super quiet in here. Our battery is a little bit on the low end right now. You normally can get up to around 37 miles of pure electric range. But you can just hear how quiet it is in EV mode. And honestly, acceleration isn't bad in EV mode. Really instant. A lot of torque, actually, of course, as you would expect with an electric motor there. And I would say 0 to 60 in EV mode takes around 9-ish seconds or 8 to 9 seconds. In the other modes, it takes around 5-6 second range, and you have that full combined power output there. We'll pop it back into hybrid vehicle mode there. Engine kicks on, very smooth transition between this and the electric motor is the gas engine. It's a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated engine in this vehicle. And of course, we can drive it, as I mentioned, in eco mode, for example. So the throttle mapping is a little bit on the softer side. Push it in for normal mode. And if you turn it to the right, we get a sport drive mode as well. And the sport drive mode definitely unlocks the full power out of this Lexus NX, and it's surprisingly peppy of an amount of power here. Now the interesting thing though is you have an electronic rear axle. So out back we actually have just pure e-motors driving those rear wheels, and the front motor is getting a lot of power because you have both the electric motor up front as well as that gas engine here, so lots of power is going up there. And this is an interesting part of the Lexus NX's driving experience. Specifically in this luxury trim we have here, you can get the F-Sport handling package, which gets adaptive dampers and a little bit of some stiffer components throughout the chassis. But this is definitely tuned for a comfortable driving experience. It's not really a sporty vehicle. And while it's not a sporty vehicle, the steering itself isn't particularly good at feel, but it's very on center, very direct feeling, which is nice. The body control is pretty good for a pretty heavy vehicle. It's around 4,500 pounds. It takes itself around a corner well. It's not sporty, but it's very composed. Not too much body roll, actually. I was expecting a little bit more out of this plug-in hybrid. And generally, the suspension really has a nice, almost controlled float aspect to it over bumps. Is actually quite soothing, especially if you're a passenger in the vehicle. As a driver, it's also generally pretty nice, and just like in the RX, I feel, just tested recently, there's a little bit of some head toss motions here. You have a generally higher center of gravity out of this TNGA-K architecture, especially with the battery pack placement of this one, than some other vehicles. It isn't the highest mountain point on the vehicle of this battery pack, but it's I believe right where the rear seats are, right underneath those, so you kind of feel that just a little bit, but it's not really the worst thing. What's annoying though are these run flat tires that this one has on it. This suspension, I feel it could do such a better job if it didn't have these run flats. We have those, of course, because we don't have a spare. due to the battery packs and all that stuff in the rear of the vehicle, but I think it kind of mildly hurts this driving experience just a little bit. I can feel through the steering wheel some vibration and harshness, specifically coming from those tires, and that's how I'm able to tell it's coming from the tires and not the suspension, because if I kind of let go of the wheel just briefly, it just kind of soaks up bumps just a lot better. And if I put my hands on the wheel, I can feel some of the vibrations coming through that tire section over there. So I guess if you want to stuff on non-run flats, I would say you'd probably have a better driving experience out of this Lexus NX than with them, if you want to sacrifice that ability to drive a little bit further if you do ever get into a flat tire situation here. Generally though, it's a pretty nice, comfortable, quiet vehicle. You have a really good driving position. I would say you're pretty high up actually, but that gives you a good overall view of around the road around you. I like this digital rear view camera, and again, you can make it regular as we saw, but it may take some getting used to if you're not used to it. We do have a pretty good radar adaptive cruise control system on this Lexus NX as well, so it's now activated. You just press this one button on the right hand panel over there, and we can adjust our following distance and speed very easily as well in this vehicle. I will note that we don't actually have the driver monitor on this car, so that's both a plus and a minus. And the positive side, it's really annoying actually. If you're someone who likes to drive like this, no matter how many times you press like disable, it still will beep at you saying it can't see your face. So that kind of takes up a whole bunch of the screen when it pops up that notification, for example. On the other side of that, the negative is you don't get that ability, I believe, in this car to do the traffic jam assist, where it kind of takes over control of driving for you in low speed traffic situations. So there are your ups and downs with that, but we still actually get lane change assist. So if I put on my blinker here, just hold it just a little bit, I have to check my surroundings here, and it will automatically change lanes for me, which is nice. It blends right into traffic when you're in the adaptive cruise control mode, for example, adjust speed and your following distance, all really pretty well. It isn't the quickest lane change assist system I've seen, but for those different features, it actually works pretty well, but you do have to be in that adaptive cruise enabled mode there. As I mentioned, we also do have our voice assist in here, so you can have it always listening to you, or you can activate it manually. What's the weather outside?
It is sunny in Ardsley, New York, and it feels like 91 degrees Fahrenheit.
Pretty hot today, but I like how it gives us this nice weather card, for example. You can use this to change things like your ambient lighting as well in the vehicle, and do a whole bunch of other cool customizable features with this voice assistant. It's actually pretty good, but I believe for some more in-depth features here, you do have to make sure you have that connected cloud package here to access everything else. So if you want to use this built-in navigation system, you have to pay and make sure you're still in that subscription after it expires, however many years that Lexus initially gives you for free. So definitely take that into mind. Now we'll pop it back into regular driving mode, put it into sport mode for a second here, and put this eCVT into sport mode. We have actually simulated gears here. So it's very interesting when you use these paddles to quote unquote shift, nothing really happens because there's no like actual sets of gears it's going through. Now this is an eCVT, and so using a planetary gear set of actual gears, unlike a typical continuously variable transmission that we find in Hondas or Subarus, for example, that uses a belt style system. This is actually way more durable and way more reliable than those, and there are actual physical gears moving around, even though it doesn't work like a normal automatic 8-speed transmission. But you get those simulated shifting kind of feelings here if you would like to use that. I honestly just let it go into drive and it can figure itself out, or leave the transmission in sport and you kind of get a little bit more of that acceleration here. And the overall smoothness of this powertrain is pretty smooth, actually. This is a 2.5 liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder that's shared with a lot of vehicles in the Toyota lineup, like a lot of vehicles, including things like the Prius and all that. So it's very durable, it's going to last forever, but it isn't the most luxurious powertrain in that regard. Something out of like a BMW or even the Volvo 4-cylinder has a little bit more of a premium, overall refined feel to it, even though those are typically boosted engines. This one's okay, but you're trading a lot of that here for reliability, longevity, and just some overall ease of maintenance in this particular Lexus, even though you still are able to get pretty decent power numbers out of this car. So overall, the course of this week, this has been a pretty nice vehicle to test out. Again, the most powerful Lexus NX, nothing really crazy new for 2026. So if you are looking at one of these, maybe consider a 2025 or 4, because you're really not going to be missing out on anything else, and you may save some money there. But If you are someone who is not going to plug in this NX450h Plus and you just want a hybrid NX, just go straight for the 350h. You're going to save yourself a lot of money, and you'll get a pretty overall similar, pretty much identical experience here. It's if you're plugging it in, if you're going to be using that EV range in all of these daily driving scenarios, that's when you're really going to make this vehicle worth it a lot more to you versus those other Lexus NX trim levels there. So definitely take that into consideration. But I do appreciate the comfort and luxurious nature that this Lexus NX is offering. It's really quiet in here, which is nice. I like this unique cabin that you can get in this particular NX, and compared to some German or European competitors, for example, this interior shockingly feels a little bit nicer than those. We still get some nice trim pieces in here. You're getting the ambient lighting, you're getting all the technology as well. So I wouldn't say you're missing out too much here. It's just if you want something of a more dynamic driving experience, the NX probably isn't for you. It's more comfortable, more luxurious in that regard. Otherwise, guys, thank you for joining us on yet another full tour and review over at Allcarnews. And as always, stay tuned for more coming soon. Cheers.